Hey everyone, welcome to our deep dive. Today we're exploring a super cool book. It's called How to Teach with Excellence. Reboot.
Yeah.
So basically, it's all about how to hit the refresh button on your teaching approach. And get this, it's actually inspired by the wisdom of Isaiah 58.
What's really interesting about this book is it's not just about practical tips. It really encourages teachers to connect with their spiritual side. It's like you're getting advice from a therapist, God, Isaiah, and another teacher.
Yeah, it's true. All at the same time. It has this really calming vibe. It's like you're just chilling in a therapist's office, getting guidance from the best sources possible. I don't know how else to describe it. It's very soothing. It makes you feel good.
Absolutely.
And it talks about, clearing out the clutter, the old methods, the negativity, and making a room for a fresh, impactful approach to teaching.
Right.
So, let's talk about this whole rebooting thing. What does that even mean? In the context of teaching.
Well, you know how your computer, it needs a reboot sometimes just to run smoothly, get rid of all the junk. It's kind of like that for us teachers too, We need to hit that reset button every now and then, and this book helps us do just that.
Okay, so how does this ancient text, Isaiah 58, how does that tie into rebooting our teaching? I'm curious.
So the book actually connects the idea of rebooting to the concept of fasting in Isaiah 58.
Okay.
But it's not just about giving something up. It's more about focusing on meaningful actions that uplift others, not just empty rituals.
Right, not just starving yourself for no reason.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about positive actions that make a real difference.
Yeah.
Especially for our students.
Exactly. It's about taking a deep look at ourselves.
Yeah.
And clearing out all those outdated methods and any negativity that we might be carrying. Because all that stuff, it can really hold us back from connecting with our students and truly inspiring them.
Yeah. That makes sense. It's like decluttering our minds.
Yeah.
To make space for better teaching practices.
Absolutely.
I love that. Okay, so the book uses this acronym, shout aloud.
Yes.
To guide us through this reboot. Each letter stands for something, right?
Exactly.
Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah. Each letter in shout aloud represents a principle that's linked to a verse in Isaiah 58. It's really neat how they connect it all together.
Ooh. Okay, so break it down for us. What does each letter stand for?
All right, so let's start with S. S stands for speak. And this takes inspiration from Isaiah 58.1. It says, shout it aloud, do not hold back, raise your voice like a trumpet. It's about speaking boldly and clearly with conviction.
Oh, I like that.
You got to make sure your message is heard,
Yeah.
And that the students really understand what you're trying to convey. It's about teaching with intention and purpose.
Oh, I love that. Okay, what about H?
H stands for heart.
Oh, teaching with heart. So important.
Right. This aligns perfectly with Isaiah 58.23. It emphasizes genuine intentions.
Yeah.
Understanding the needs of those around us. Being empathetic.
Yes.
It's not just about what we teach, but how we teach it.
Totally. Approaching it with empathy and understanding. Those are key. All right, what about O? What's O?
O stands for observe.
Observe, okay.
It's all about
Yeah.
modeling integrity.
Oh, so walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Exactly. You got to align your actions with your words. Live out the values that you teach, because your students, they're always watching you, and they learn as much from your behavior as they do from your lessons.
That's such a good point. Okay. U. What does U stand for?
U stands for uplift.
Uplift, okay.
It's about advocating for fairness and justice, creating a classroom where all students feel supported, respected, and valued, an inclusive environment where everyone has a chance to thrive.
We love that.
And this principle, it actually draws from Isaiah 58.677. It focuses on standing up for the vulnerable, the marginalized. Super important.
Absolutely. So important. Okay, so we're halfway through. What about T?
T stands for transform. This one's really inspiring. It's about the power of education to really transform minds and inspire growth in our students, help them unlock their full potential,
Yes.
develop their skills, and just become the best versions of themselves.
I love that. Becoming the best versions of themselves.
Right. It's about, helping them blossom. And this connects beautifully with Isaiah 58.89. It highlights the potential for renewal, healing, and positive change. Both within ourselves and in the world around us.
Amazing. Okay, we've got 3 more to go. What about A?
All right, so A stands for align. This one's all about aligning our teaching with a purposeful mission.
Okay.
So every lesson, every activity, it all serves a greater purpose.
Right. So it's about being really intentional with our teaching.
Exactly. Making sure that what we're doing in the classroom, it truly matters and contributes to our students' growth. It's about connecting our, daily teaching practices to a higher goal.
Right.
Whether it's fostering critical thinking, promoting creativity, or just instilling a love of learning.
Yeah.
And this actually connects back to Isaiah 58:9-10, which it encourages us to focus on actions that make a real difference in the world, aligning our efforts with God's purpose for our lives.
I love that. It reminds us that teaching it's not just a job, it's a calling.
Exactly.
Okay. L, what does L stand for?
L stands for listen. And this goes beyond just hearing words. It's about active listening, paying attention to both verbal and nonverbal cues, truly understanding the message behind the words.
Yeah. Listening is so important in any relationship, especially in a classroom.
Absolutely.
It's how we build trust, show respect, and create a safe space for students to share their thoughts.
Exactly. And this book, it actually takes it a step further. It encourages us to listen on 3 levels.
Okay, tell me more.
Listening to God, listening to our students, and listening to ourselves.
Wow. I never thought about it that way. Okay, break that down for me. Like, what does it mean to listen to God?
Yeah.
In the context of teaching?
Well, it's about seeking guidance and wisdom from a higher power as we plan our lessons, interact with our students, and just navigate the challenges that come with teaching. Remember, Isaiah 58:1 says, "The Lord will guide you always."
So it's about inviting that divine wisdom into our work, trusting that we're being led in the right direction.
Exactly. Whether it's through prayer, reflection, or just being open to those moments of inspiration. Those moments where it's like, aha, that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that we're not in this alone.
I love that.
Yeah.
What about listening to our students? How does that make us better teachers?
So it's about really paying attention, not just to what they're saying, but how they're saying it, Their body language, facial expressions, tone of voice, it can tell you so much about their understanding, engagement, and emotional state.
It's like
reading between the lines.
Right.
Picking up on those cues that tell us if a student is confused, frustrated, or excited about something.
Exactly. And when we're tuned in to those cues, we can tailor our instruction to meet their individual needs, create a more supportive learning environment.
Makes sense. So it's about being present, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally with our students.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, this next one is interesting. What does it mean to listen to ourselves, as teachers?
So this one's all about self-awareness and self-care. It's about checking in with our own thoughts and feelings. How's our energy level, especially in a profession as demanding as teaching?
Yeah. It's so easy to get caught up in meeting our students' needs that we forget about ourselves.
It happens to the best of us. And the book encourages us to really pay attention to those internal signals. Like if you're feeling burnt out, stressed, or frustrated, those are signs that we need to take a step back, recharge, put ourselves first for a bit. Yeah. You can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
You got to take care of yourself if you want to be the best teacher you can be.
Exactly. And listening to ourselves can help us identify those moments, when we need to replenish our energy, whether it's taking a break, doing something we enjoy, or seeking support from our colleagues or mentors.
Yeah, that makes sense. Self-care is not selfish. It's essential for being a good teacher. All right, so we covered listen pretty thoroughly. What about O?
So O stands for obey.
Obey. Okay.
And this one can be, sometimes misinterpreted.
Yeah. When I think of obey, I think of blindly following rules, no questions asked. But I'm guessing this book has a different take on it.
Yeah, you got it. It's not about blind obedience. It's about aligning our teaching with truth and integrity.
Okay.
It's about obeying God's call to teach with excellence, which means using our best judgment, making wise choices, and acting in accordance with our values.
Right. So it's about obeying a higher purpose, a set of principles that guide us to be the best teachers we can be.
Exactly.
I like that.
And the book actually provides specific guidance on how to put this principle into practice, starting with the concept of rebooting in truth.
Rebooting in truth. What does that mean for teachers?
Think of it like this: clearing out any misconceptions, outdated information, or biases that might be clouding our teaching.
Oh.
It's about making sure our foundation is solid, built on reliable knowledge, sound pedagogy, and ethical principles, making sure we're building our teaching on solid ground.
Yeah, like a house needs a strong foundation.
Exactly. And the book refers to this as rebuilding ancient ruins. Revisiting those core concepts and skills, the ones that students really need to grasp before they can move on to more complex ideas.
I've seen that so many times in my teaching. A student will struggle with something, and it's not because they can't get it. It's because they're missing some basic knowledge.
Exactly. And when you help them fill in those gaps, it's amazing to see how everything clicks into place.
It's like a light bulb moment.
Exactly. So we're rebooting in truth, rebuilding ancient ruins. What else does this obey principle have for us?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Well, think about it. What are some of the most important foundations for a successful life?
I'd say things like respect, curiosity, perseverance, qualities that help people thrive.
Exactly. And the book calls this raising up age-old foundations. It's about instilling those core values in our students, not just teaching facts and figures, but helping them become well-rounded individuals.
Isn't that what teaching's all about? It's not just about transmitting knowledge. It's about shaping lives.
Absolutely. You're not just a teacher. You're a mentor, a guide,
Right.
a role model. And by obeying that call to teach with integrity and truth, you can have a lasting impact on your students.
I love that. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into how to teach with excellence, Reboot manuscript, and I have to say, I'm feeling inspired. It's like this book has given me a fresh perspective on what it means to be a teacher.
That's great to hear.
We talked earlier about the 3 teacher mindsets that the book highlights.
Yes.
The teacher mindset, the presenter mindset, and the writer mindset. Can we dive into that a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. So the book recognizes that teachers wear many hats and encourages us to be really intentional about how we approach each role.
It's like having a personalized coaching session for every aspect of teaching.
Exactly.
It's recognizing the different mindsets we need to tap into.
Yeah.
Can you unpack each of these a little bit further?
Yeah, absolutely. So the teacher mindset, it's all about personal growth and reflection. It's about always looking for ways to improve your skills, deepen your understanding of your subject, and become a more effective educator. Basically, being a lifelong learner yourself.
Right. It's about embracing that growth mindset.
Yeah.
And always striving to be better.
Exactly.
For ourselves and our students. What about the presenter mindset?
The presenter mindset is all about engaging your students and delivering really impactful lessons, bringing your subject matter to life, captivating your audience, making learning an enjoyable and memorable experience.
It's about being that dynamic, engaging presence in the classroom, the one who sparks curiosity and makes students want to learn more.
Exactly. And the book gives you practical tips and strategies for how to cultivate that presenter mindset, like using storytelling techniques, incorporating humor, movement into your lessons.
Fascinating. Okay. What about the writer mindset?
So the writer mindset focuses on organizing materials and creating clear, purposeful resources, things like lesson plans, assessments, handouts, or any other written materials that support your teaching.
So it's about being organized, clear, and intentional with the resources we create, making sure everything serves a specific purpose.
Precisely. Honing your skills as a writer and communicator, making sure your materials are engaging, informative, and easy for students to understand.
This is brilliant. That's so beautiful. It reminds us that we're not alone in this, that we have somewhere to turn to for strength and guidance.
And the book gives us real ways to tap into that spiritual side. It talks about incorporating prayer, reflection, into our daily lives, finding moments of stillness, being grateful for the opportunity to make a difference.
Such good advice, not just for teachers, but for anyone.
Exactly. And the best part is the book blends these spiritual insights with practical teaching strategies. It's a complete package, a guide you can keep coming back to, always finding something new.
I'll definitely be keeping it close. Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into how to teach with excellence. Reboot manuscript.
I feel so recharged and inspired, ready to hit that reboot button on my teaching.
That's fantastic. Remember, teaching is a journey. It's about constantly learning, growing, becoming better for our students. And this book is a great companion for that journey.
It really is. Thank you so much for being here with us today. It's been such a pleasure.